Welcome to 3Q's and You. I'm your host for this week's episode, Christy Amstutz. Here at 3Q's and You, we are so excited to be bringing you the best and brightest from the Boise State community and showcasing you the wonderful things that they are doing on campus. Today, I have the privilege of bringing you a friend and mentor, Jade Lander. Welcome to our show. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So, what is your title within the Boise State community and what does it mean?
Yeah, so I am a resident director within Housing and Residence Life. So I oversee university suites. So we have 3 buildings, and I oversee the resident assistants that are student leaders within the community, and then oversee the 300 residents that live in them.
Amazing. I'm sure that's a handful at times, but I'm sure you're very able to handle it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so 3Q's and You, the way it works is we've got 3 categories for you. So we've got college, professional, and wild card.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask you 3 questions in each category.
Okay.
And then you're gonna choose 1 question from that category to answer. So basically, we have teams of students from our class that have submitted these questions, and each round is worth a different amount of points. So round 1, we've got 1 point, round 2, we've got 1 point, and round 3, we've got 2 points. So, and then the winning team will get bragging rights within our class because they submitted the winning question that you chose to answer. So, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, deep breath, ready? And out. Amazing. Okay, so we're gonna start with our college questions.
Okay.
So our first question is, what's your biggest study tip?
Okay.
Question 2, what was your favorite thing about living in the dorms at GCU during your college experience?
Okay.
And question number 3, how did you spend your free time as a student? And if you need any of them repeated, let me know, I can do that for you.
Okay. I think I will go with question number 2.
Okay, so that was favorite thing about living in the dorms.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That was Team Orange. So Team Orange gets 1 point. Amazing. Congrats to Team Orange.
Yeah, so my favorite thing about living in the dorms at GCU was honestly the community and the friendships that I made. I lived in Chaparral Hall my first year there, and the next 2 years I lived in Agave apartments, and honestly it was the best. Like, we would blast music at the desk when I was an RA and hang out with residents and built some amazing friendships, had a lot of cries. We did our homework in the lobby, and yeah.
That's awesome. How did that experience shape or help you realize that you wanted to go into housing in a bigger capacity in the future?
It was really my RA role, and it was starting with my first year there as a sophomore. I spent all my free time hanging out with the resident assistants in the lobby there, and from there I fell in love with how they were able to mentor and be friends to incoming students. And so I applied to be an RA and took everything that my RAs did for me and did that for my residents, built some phenomenal relationships, and fell in love with really being able to mentor residents, especially upperclassmen and international students was really fun with the community that I served. So I have really enjoyed being able to do that now as an RD. So
yeah, I was wondering how the shift from being an RA to being an RD has been for you, and what has been the difference between those 2 roles.
Wow, a lot more than I experienced. Or like not experienced, but expected. It's really different. You go from being this like peer with your residents to like being in charge. I don't want to say superior, not superior, but like you're in charge of them, right? Like you make the rules, you run the buildings. So it's different. You definitely change from like a fellow person in the classroom to someone who is able to provide like different life support, which is really cool and on a whole nother level. So changing over, sometimes I still find myself, this is my first year as a resident director, so I still found myself like, oh, like this is, oh no, now I'm that, I don't call the RD anymore, I am the RD, so let me put my RD hat on, like. So yeah, that's been a unique change, but it's been fun and I absolutely love it. So.
Amazing, I love that. Okay, are you ready for our next category questions? Okay, so these are professional questions. So we've got Team Orange already has 1 question. So here's the first question from the category. How would you want to change the world through your profession? What makes your career so special and different from others? And what is the best piece of advice you've been given in regards to your career? And feel free, I can repeat any of those if you want.
Wow.
Some tough ones.
Yes. Can you repeat the first one?
Of course. How would you want to change the world through your profession?
And the second one?
What makes your career so special and different from others?
I think I want to talk on the second question.
Okay, amazing. That was also Team Orange.
Wow.
So look at them with 2 points.
They're killing it.
Still anyone's game, honestly. Okay, amazing. So what makes your career so special and different from others?
I would say the thing that I love most that makes it different is really being able to be there for the college age students. Like, this is prime time for you to grow away from home. So a lot of the students here, this is their first time living away from home. And so really having the opportunity to be there for the resident and teach them not only like life skills, but professional skills and personal development, I think it's phenomenal. It really helps set the stage for the rest of their life. So I think it's just so different than other jobs.
Yeah.
In the sense that I also get to do it on large scale. And really help people find their community, find their home, and grow within themselves.
Yeah, you mentioned that you have over 300 residents right now below you. How do you make one-on-one connections when there's so many of them?
Honestly, it's not as hard as what you think. I like to have a presence in my community. So if you ever come to suites, a lot of times I'm hanging out behind the desk, as you know. So intentionality with the conversations that you have, intentional conversations is something that I preach all the time. So really reaching out, offering smiles, sending emails, and then learning their names, especially when they come in where the main desk, so when they come in to get mail, when they come in to get packages, put in work orders, really taking the time to like ask them how their day is doing and learning their names, so that way when you follow up with them again, it makes them feel seen. And being really intentional with like program planning, talking to residents at the events and stuff like that. So.
And I'm sure those smiles and like learning names makes such a big difference in their life. As a college student, I know that would make such a big difference in my daily life. So I'm sure it's very appreciated among your residents. Okay, amazing. So we've got Team Orange with 2 points. Are you ready for your wild card questions?
Yes.
Okay. You never really know where these are going to go, the direction. So we'll see how crazy they get. Okay, first question. Suppose you could travel back in time. How far would you go and why? If you could go back 5 years, what would you want to tell your future self? And what would be your perfect meal if you had to describe it?
I am going to go with the second question again.
Team Orange again. Clean sweep, Team Orange. They get 4 points, and the first 3Q's and you win of the season. Perfect. Hit me with your answer.
Can you repeat the question?
If you could go back 5 years, what would you want to tell your future self?
So if I was to go back 5 years, I'd be 20. Wow.
Such a baby.
Oh my gosh. Such a child. Pre-21. 20 years old, I specifically picked this question because it was like the defining moment in my life. And so it is when I started my college journey. And I had a unique childhood with different health issues and stuff. And so I started off at CWI at 20 years old and did not know what the future held for university, especially now continuing my education in higher education. So I would go back and tell myself to breathe, tell myself that failure is okay. Fail forward is a motivational speech, if you have not seen it, that I live by. So I would tell myself that everything's gonna be okay, the path that I think that I'm going down will change 500 different times, and that is okay.
Yes.
And just to keep persevering and moving forward and going through life shining with a smile and embracing what it has.
Yeah, and I'm sure going through experiences like that has helped you in your role incredibly. So I'm sure that has been amazing for you to share with other people as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Orange Team Orange with the clean sweep, honestly.
Yes.
Like, good for them. I'm so excited for them. First win of the 3Q and U season.
Awesome.
I want to thank you so much for being here today. I loved having conversation, and if we had all the time in the world, I would continue having this conversation forever and ever.
Yes.
But thank you so much for being here today. And unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today on 3Q's and U. I'm your host, Christy Amstutz. Join us next time where we'll have a different host and a different guest. See you next time.